Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime series with me, Kevin Britz, leading the charge with insights, information, and ultimately effective results. If you haven't yet, please like and share and check out anywhere you watch your podcasting to keep our channel growing. Joining me today is the leadership segment. He's the chairman and CEO of Destiny Builders Africa and Consortium. He has 3 decades of social work services in Africa and doing entrepreneurship training and missionary work, as well as the pastoral ministry, with the main objective of empowering the community through social work, biblical teaching, and practical knowledge on entrepreneurship. Today, he's here to share some really wonderful insights for what he is building. And so keen to have him on today's show. Pastor Steven Lopepe, welcome to the show, Pastor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me tonight, and all the best for today, for all the auditors and all of us, you and me too. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I'm married, father of many kids, like a good African man, and I have chance to be from the land of birth in DRC, minister in business and social work in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, where I learn my theology, and Lesotho, in Gabon, Libreville. So I quite have a big chance in life to be around Africa and to deliver what is my passion, is to train people and to introduce them in a new level of life which they never have before they meet me. It is a big challenge. That is the challenge for me. When we meet with somebody after talking or training or any interaction, I always do my best so that he may reach a new level of life by meeting us. Yeah. Yes. I think the beginning of everything is my social position. I'm the firstborn, and according to the culture from where I'm coming from, when you are firstborn, you are carrying responsibility for the rest of the family. So it means somewhere, somehow, they rely upon you. So I found myself in age of 12, bringing food at home, going to rivers and bringing fish at home, going to the bush and bringing some food. So that built me in a such way. Then I discovered that my life is also about giving to the community and pushing them to reach another level and being useful for the people around you. So for me, there's no life anymore for me if I can't help anybody around me. It doesn't make any sense. And I grown up with it. So socially is where it started. Then later on, I found myself in a situation where my class was quite far from the village place where we were living, around 14 kilometers. So you need to walk to go to study. And there it raised me again many things. How a land full of diamond, gold and copper and everything from my village, you can have easily gold just by digging behind your house. So how people like that can find themselves walking kilometers before you go to school. And for me, education is the key for success. For everybody, Christian, pagan, Muslim, Hindu, whoever, if you are not educated enough, then you will not be able to stand according to what you need to deliver in life. So that rise again my passion to bring some kind of development in the community. And I start to write some books about it. The first book I wrote, it is How to Overcome a Challenge. And the second book I wrote is this one, is from zero to hero, from zero to hero. So I'm having now in the English version, from zero to hero. I strongly believe, my good sir Kevin, when you meet good people, when you meet good people can give you some orientation, no matter your standard, you'll become the hero in your community, because you have a hero of proximity and you have the hero of public place. So that raised me the need to help the community. Then from there, I move in social life now, starting to serve around my community, especially in the church. And there it rise again, my passion, because many churches in Africa doesn't have facilities for their people and their kids to grow properly. It rise again another passion in me. I say, Lord, I can't die without living in my community some of the facility they need. So here we are, my good sir Kevin. I found myself building a mega church, building a social work, and especially building business. Because for me, a human being, it doesn't matter his religion, it doesn't matter his skin color, you need to give him some structure so that he may perform well. We have some category of people who never be able by themselves to put themselves in a structure. You need to prepare structure for them. So here we are. We have social structures, we have a spiritual structures, and more above, and a great passion for me, business structures for people to found themselves in a new level of life as a human being. Thank you, sir.
It's amazing. And, I listened to your humble beginnings and, and it's part of your inspiration to want to be bigger and more. So, when you hear it from that perspective and, from starting at your humble beginnings to where you are today. And I look at your profile and I look at the co-founder of the Chamber of Mines and Energy for Africa. I look at the fact that you are a part of the vast network of businesses, men and ministries around Africa, connecting investors and governmental and private partners. You're also the co-founder to DBA Consortium. There's so much that you've done, right? And to hear it coming from humble beginnings as an inspiration to want to help and sort of empower others. And even in the books that you've written, there's steps and strategies, and you mentioned creating some structure for people to be able to do that. Part of everything you're doing currently is involved in wanting to help and wanting to connect Africa. Speak to us a little bit about that, because you do come from the DRC, you in Africa. There's many connections that you have between the two countries. Speak to us about that connection, and why do you think it's so important for Africans to unite and empower, and from that perspective?
Thank you, Kevin. I come to discover along my journey that Africa have many potential, but we ignore ourselves. Why? Because it has been taught to us that no, you need to wait for Europe to do something. You need to wait for America to do something. And that by waiting along my journey, I never received. I wait so long. I was supposed to go to do medicine in Belgium and waiting, and nothing happened. So I come to discover, my good sir, that by waiting Europe, by waiting America, and today we have also China, we don't have anything against them. We are taking a risk to wait longer and dying without leaving a legacy to the new generation. So I start to believe from things around me, because when we didn't have a food, I go to the river. I pick up some fish. I brought home. We ate. When we didn't have anything, I go to the bush. I bring something. So I come to discover that no, things are around us, but we are not well aligned. We are not well aligned. So for me, Kevin, alignment become a big challenge in Africa. Look today, because of the technology and by the businessman conference which we had this year, as we used to have every year, I come to meet you, my good sir. Now, by your work and the technology, we have been aligned, talking now how to give hope around Africa. So the first thing is, when you are not well aligned, then you are going to miss everything in life. Now, maybe we can ask a question, how to discover good alignment, so that is where I strongly believe that there is some people, God sent them on earth, people like you, Kevin, who their work is to align others, That is what the concept of today, we call it, coaching or whatever we can call it. But for me, it's alignment. Because when people are not well aligned, then they'll mess up. And that is a big challenge we are having today. We wrote book. I have your book here, Kevin, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much. All of that there is a passion in you. There is a passion in us to align people. So as long the aligners are not conscient, then we are going to lose part of people in Africa. That is the first truth. And when you have aligners, if you can allow the expression, when aligners start to work, then you have a different kind of aligners. Like some of aligners, they are just introducers. That's all. They don't do much. For me to know you here today, no matter the fact that you was in the conference, but the crowd was there, average of 250 people, 250 is difficult. But somebody introduced me to you and you to me. So the second thing which everybody must know in life, if you don't found a good aligners, like a coach, at least please found an introducer. The introducer will connect you, will give you environment. Okay. If we can understand from my understanding, my humble understanding, the first introducer in your life, my good sir Kevin, is your mother and your father. We may love them, we may not love them, but they introduce you in this world. Now, when they introduce you, then you start to now to meet aligners. Your school teacher, your professor, whoever. And today you found yourself as an introducer, as an aligner. Now, first category in aligners people, and that's what we are, is my passion, is introducers. Second category is facilitators. So not every introducer can facilitate, but when you meet facilitators, then you can go deeper, because a facilitator is somebody who knows terms and conditions of what you need. A facilitator is somebody who can help you to guide yourself well from zero to hero. That is a facilitator. He make orientation in your life. Then you have another category which is very necessary among aligners. You have a transformers. So you have those who can introduce you somewhere. You have those who can facilitate, but you need to meet those who are transformers. So when you take your life, you know that I'm going to move from lower standard to a higher standard. You know, one of the challenge of every human being, Kevin, is you must be transformed. You may like it or not. We are getting old. Look, the gray hair on our head. So we may like it. The change is inevitable. Your life must change. But how you are changing, that is what matters. You need to meet transformers. A transformer is somebody who will take your age, your strength, or whatever. Is going to work with you together, and is going to bring you to become the best version of you. And you know what? That was the topic of our conference this year. Businessman conference. How to become the best version of you. The best version of you. So you have the aligners who can be in three categories: introducer, facilitator, and transformers. So that is where we are, my good sir Kevin. No way for you to have any passion if you can't use it to introduce others, to align others, to facilitate something, or to transform your community. Now, before I receive another question from your side, notice Africa. I move around Africa. We still have all the potential. And one of the potential today to make us moving is the crisis in front of us. Are you having any crisis of jobless? Then know that there is an introducer who can take you out of jobless. Are you having crisis in marriage? Know that somebody went through it. He is there in Africa. You need just to shift your mind and trust him. He is there. It doesn't matter the skin color. He is there. You are going through challenge of business. Here we are, my good sir. I'm giving you opportunity to move around Africa. We have business opportunities, and we have also possibilities. People who can align you, people who can introduce you, people who can facilitate you, and investors who can transform your idea. So we are there. It's time for us to believe in ourselves, to believe in Africa. This is the time to come together. Because in all of this, if we are not together, then it will be difficult for us to change our community. Thank you, good sir.
Pastor, I love that. And, you know, when you break it down into aligners, introducers, facilitators, transformers. What I love the beauty of that sentiment, because you can suddenly realize, where do you fit, right? And I think if we think of Africa, I started this podcast channel, and part of that insight, and I've done, interviews with people all across the world, and they don't say anything better or more unique than what Africans do. And I've gone to the degree of seeking out what are those good conversations and who's going to teach me something new or something. And everyone has a story, but the essentials, the essence of leadership, the essence of connecting with humans, the essence of making a difference, it is fundamental to humans. So whether you come from America or whether you come from Europe, whether you come from Africa, it's fundamental to humans that we connect at a human level and have conversations. And as you say, part of that is aligners, introducers, facilitators, transformers. Which one are you? And if you can recognize it to that point, and a quick idea of who you are, how do you connect those dots? And for me, one of the sentiments I always share when I do a lot of transformation, a lot of facilitation. And one of those ideas is action creates motion.
Wow.
And when I share that, when people really sit down and realize we can all take the stance of going, yes, but what about me? What about me? The next conversation is, yes, but what about you? What action are you creating? And it ties into that alignment conversation that you're speaking, because whether it's a small action or a really big action, it's action. Right. And to me, that's like in alignment. When you are in alignment with taking the action, part of taking the action creates motion. And, it might start small, but eventually that small little motion is going to get you into a lot of action, and vice versa. But tell us, one of the conversations we had when I first met you is this dream that you've had for so long, and you already travel connecting businesses, connecting people. Tell us about that dream, and what is it that you're wanting to build for the future?
Thank you, Kevin. One of my big dreams, and I'm very privileged to have your audience to share it. One of my dreams, Kevin, is to build a university of leadership and management in Central of Africa, having some campuses and branches like English one in Southern here in South of Africa, and more campuses in West of Africa. I learned this, my good sir, from school, that Africa has a form of a gun, and that gun, you have the bottom fire, where fire is coming out, is in South Africa. And the trigger is in Congo, is in Central of Congo. And where you put the bullet is Ghana and Nigeria. Now, if from West Africa, we can work together with Central Africa and work with you, my good sir, Kevin, in South Africa, then all the continent of Africa shall become a weapon unstoppable. Let me give you another illustration to show you again the idea before I go back to university. Now, in a cultural way, Kevin, South African dance with their legs. When they dance, when Zulu people dance, they dance with their legs. And South Africa is in the south.
Yeah.
So South is like the feet to make all Africa moving. When Congo dance, they dance on their, so they dance usually, they are turning their body. And when Nigeria and Ghana dance, they dance with their shoulder. Now, all the body will never move until the legs move, until the middle of the body move, and all our shoulder move. So we are called to move Africa together, my good sir. Together. No way for no one can lie to me about it. I have years of experience, and I discover that there is no way for us to move if all Africa is not moving together. And that is one of the reasons other continents are afraid to see us united. But it's too late. It's too late, because this new generation, Kevin, if you and we didn't do much, may our generation forgive us. We ask for forgiveness. But the new generation one, Look, North is coming to married to Center. Center is going to have a kids in South. So there is no way for Africa to stay as we used to stay. But here is the problem. If we don't educate well Africans, if we don't tell them what they are having as potential, then we may miss the point. That is where the big vision of having university has come. So that university will be based on leadership and management. Because what we are missing right now is great leadership around Africa. We have resources. We have potential. This is a green continent. Africa is still a green continent. We never pollute. We still green. We are victim of pollutions. We're still green. But we need strong leadership and good management. And you know what, my good sir? We have some people who are good leaders, but they are very bad managers. I'm sorry to say that is from my experience around Africa, from my own family. My father was one of a great leader because he was a teacher in school. Very great leader. He can move schools. He can teach everywhere. But my father never be able to manage money, to manage resources. And he used to say to me, go to study better than me so that you may manage. You see, I'm a leader, but I can't manage. I learned it from family experience, my good sir. Sometime in a hard way. So you have great leaders, but very bad managers. And you have some good managers, but very weak leader. He can't raise his voice. He can't. So everything it will be all right. No, not everything can be right when we are losing things. So when you combine both, Kevin, you understand that Africans leaders must work together with African managers. And how we can put them together? It's through education. If we fail education, we fail church. We fail education, we fail science. We fail education, we fail everything, and we are going to sell out Africa because somebody else who is educated will come to tell us what to do. Now, you know what? Some of the best intelligent people are Africans. I'll give you an example. Who can build infrastructure well around Africa more than South Africans? Come on, let's be honest. Who can do it? Now, why you need to go millions of kilometers to look somebody to make infrastructure where you have a South African who is there, and our economy in South Africa is still good, but it starts to be saturated, where Congo have nothing. So we need to work together. We need to make our leadership and our management together to bring the knowledge from South Africa to the rest of Africa. You need water. We have a pure water practically for free in DRC. You need electricity. We have the dam which can bring and produce electricity all Africa, Asia, and part of Europe. It is in Congo. The biggest dam is in Congo. We need to work together. So for all of this to come together, we need university, we need education. Let me tell you the truth. What you are doing right now through this media you are having, you are educating people. I call it mobile education. And it is the cheapest education ever people can receive, because other form of education, it will cost you money. Why not taking Kevin and giving him structure in Central Africa with a building and a home and a hall and whatever, and he released the knowledge before it's too late, because we are not forever on earth here, my dear good sir. One day we must go. We are not here forever. Why before it's too late? We can give Kevin that structure. I believe strongly that time has come for us to have strong education, strong elite education, who will help people. Number two, as a pastor, sometimes people can say, okay, you educate enough people in the church. And listen to my experience. I discover 40 years back, I was so young, and I started to minister in church. The education we have in the church 40 years later or back is not the one they on the same church is. So why? Because we don't have a people who are checking the standard, who are taking care of the standard to keep the same standard after generation after generation after generation. We just preach and people go and nobody keep the standard. And you look 40 years back, you say, no, this is not the church I knew, but it's still your church. The problem, you never rise anybody for education. There's where we need people. We need coaches. We need universities. Their work will be to check on the standard, And especially with this technology coming, we don't have anything against technology, because the Bible says on the last days, the knowledge shall increase. So we don't have a choice. We'll have again more technology to come. But who is a standard checker, a standard surveyor to make sure, hey, we are lowering the standard of our leaders around Africa. We are lowering the standard of our managers. We are lowering the standard for education. Come back to a standard. So we need a strong university who will say a word about taking care of standard. That is where we are giving you this call. Everybody who is passionate in education, everybody who like to invest, come with us. Let's build the university together. Thank you, sir.
You mentioned some important factors there, Pastor, that I think there's a difference between the leadership and management components. And some are great leaders, some are great managers, but very often they don't work hand in hand. And we need to do that. I love the idea of, the mobile education. And that's also why, I've been doing this for 5 years already. For me, when COVID happened, people needed help. And the only way I could help was online. And I was speaking to people who were experts and were sharing knowledge and sharing insight and information. And it is a form of education. It's a form of understanding something that right in the palm of your hand. And I think it's still going to do many things, especially from a mobile education perspective. But one of the things that we spoke about when I first met you is the Destiny Builders Africa. And I know that you have conferences often, and that's one of the things that, even in this conversation is something we can share for anyone who wants to join. And essentially there's lots of businesses, there's lots of business people. And I mean, you can tell us more about it, but there's a lot of connection happening to kind of collaborate and see how do we grow and how do we enable and empower, from country to country, like as you mentioned. Tell us about part of that conferencing that you do often.
Thank you, sir. We build a structure again to give orientation to people we are meeting and to bring our passion in action. I like your word, action. Action is, for me, without action, we are dead. We are dead, because one of the ways that we know that you are you are alive is when you are making actions. But we discover in one of the crises in Africa that we don't have enough structures which can take people from just idea to give them a platform for them to continue. And this may shock you. Let me just give you in perspective, even in the Bible. John Baptist built a structure for Jesus to come to perform. You can imagine that. So if John Baptist was not there, so Jesus couldn't have a structure to perform. And that is where ideas, we say, no, we need a structure. So Destiny Builders Africa is a consortium which play a role to align, to introduce, to facilitate, and which is in partnership with some investors around Africa for transformation. So when you come with us in our conferences, I'd like just to inform you that next year we need you in DRC, Kevin, for another conference there. So when we come together in a conference, we call that conference Legacy Builders Africa. So we are builders of legacies around Africa. So Legacy Builders Conferences. So our conferences is legacy builders are meeting together, and we do it together. Now, from when we started, we give people, in fact, we started by giving free training, free mobile school, free mobile education, as you are doing from 2011 in township. And one of the townships around South Africa which will receive us is Zanspruit Township in Honeydew. So we move around there. We train people for free. We bring some of fellow people from Europe, from America. We bring training from free. And today, a lot of our people, their life are totally transformed. From there, we move around Yeovil and Berea and Hillbrow to bring again more training. Then we grown up. Now we reach a level, my good sir Kevin, where now people who have been trained for free and start to do business, they are able to come to our conferences and to say, the training I received from the organization, the introduction and facilitation I received from Destiny Builders Africa, make me today a businessman. I'm a witness. So we reach a level now where businessmen trust us enough. They are coming for showcase. 10 minutes, 5 minutes talking, 5 minutes maybe answering question, and they say, can you take this business to Africa? The last one we had with you last week, I was so amazed to see one of South African companies say, look, we are manufacturing phones and laptops and computers, and we need coltan from Congo. Can we work together instead of you waiting computers from overseas? Let's make it together. And I say to the guy, this is amazing. Come, let's work together. Because now you'll establish your factory just near the production of coltan so that we may do it together. That is what our conferences, our businessmen conferences, that is what us, you and us, we are legacy builders. That is what we are able to do from African perspective. From African idea, from African seed, we are not in competition of anybody. No, sir. No. But we discover we have so much potential. Let's do it together. And that is where I'm calling all the fellow auditors who can hear us today. Please, we can take your idea, we can take your project, we can connect you, we can work together so that we may build our community together. Another example. Just in this conference, you and I, we were there. Some people came, they have miners, minerals, they have it under their ground. Let me tell you that it have happened once. A guy was digging for toilet. You know those kind of toilet in our villages? He was digging just to make a toilet. Then he start to see God falling in his hand, and copper and lithium and whatever. Then he cries, minerals, where? In my toilet. And people say, are you crazy? No. I stopped to make it a toilet. It became a mining. So in this conference we went through with you, my good sir, a guy come, he can manufacture machines which can take sound and whatever from river or from soil around. Then he clean it. When he finish to clean, you have minerals with you. And he have other machines which can do smelting of product. Now imagine all of this given to us without paying any money. It's free. You just come, you partnership with us, and you sign your deal. For sure, later on, you'll bring something on the table because the conference must continue. We need to pay your ticket, Kevin, to Congo. We need to pay your hotel. We need to pay some of the food for you to deliver the education to people. You are very precious to us because those they are bringing education, it may be mobile education, whatever education, they are very precious, very, very precious because you are building life and there is no price for you. Whatever we may give you will never equal the value of things you are putting in us, my dear good sir. So listen, all of these are in the table. As I'm talking with you, I'm just flying. In 2 days, I'll be out again. I fly to look for connection for you, my good sir, for people around us. Why you'll be frustrated if your business close in Limpopo? Move in Mpumalanga. If Mpumalanga close, let's go to Zambia. If Zambia close, let's go to Congo, where there is no road. Now, everything is business. Everything is business. When just you land in Congo, you look up around, business are there, waiting for you. A virgin country, waiting for frustrated people to work together. And the weekend, you are in South Africa here. You enjoy your Friday, Saturday. Monday, we are back in the plane. We go, we work, we do things. On the same time, you are building your villa here. You are building your business here. You are doing things here. So Africa is yours, And this platform has been there to make it, to help you. Align, fight, or transform. Now hear me. In February, I was in Congo, Brazzaville. And I present the idea as you are asking me to talk, just as we are talking. And people were in the room, they jump straight away. They pick up some of the businesses. And as I'm talking to you, we are already processing a project in Congo, Brazzaville, which will benefit South Africans and Congolese from Brazzaville. So it's available. As I'm talking to you, I can't go much, I can't go deeper. In level of government, we bring deals without corruption, without bribery. You'll have it because as a pastor, I have some standard of integrity. I'm not taking your money, I'm taking your idea. Then you'll pay me from the idea. So we are ready to move these conferences to a higher level. And your auditor, it will be a massive experience. Anybody who can hear us, he said, Kevin, put me on the list next year. We are going to Congo. After Congo, maybe it will be Zambia because now Zambian people are calling. They say, when are you coming this side? Then we'll be back in South Africa. In 1 year time, some of your auditor will be already connected. Just as we are talking, things are happening. Thank you, sir.
No, I love that, Pastor. I feel the enthusiasm that you have, and I commend you for doing it and making it happen. And I think, it's from hearing a little bit about your story and who you are and what you do and connecting and putting conferences together like you do and connecting countries. I think that's a beautiful message that action is waiting for people to take it, right? And around your aligners, your introducers, your facilitators, your transformers, which one are we and how do you fit into that box and how do we become part of that alignment? So for your final message for today, if people are listening to this, what do you want people to take away from today's conversation and what is that message for them?
For me, my good sir, any frustration of life, it is the first indication. First indication is your frustration. It may be recession. It may be whatever. Your frustration is an indication that you are carrying in you some substance which is suffering to come out. Don't see first about money or opportunity you lose. No. Any pressure, any frustration, that is the key. You must understand that God sent you on earth for something better. Now, this is the example I'll give you. I worked 5 years in aircraft company, and I was in charge of catering. On those years, I travel again. They teach us, and I discover by experience, no aircraft can take off if you didn't put pressure inside. Number one, you must put too much pressure in. When the aircraft is doing the taxi around tarmac and whatever, they are putting pressure. Number two, he will never take off if he don't found the opposite direction of the wind. He must face the wind, because when he faces the wind, then his chest of the plane will be pulled up because of the opposition of the wind, the pressure outside, the pressure inside, and the engine moving. You take off, my good sir. Why killing each other when we are under pressure? Why? Because the pressure is the indication. Come with us in our conferences. Come in the coaching of Kevin. We are going to show you that the pressure you are going through is a key for you to overcome something new. The pressure will make you a hero. You'll move from zero to hero. The pressure is indication. The challenge is indication. Even when you lose money. In fact, some of the businessmen who are working with me today, some of them lose everything. Then we tell them, listen, if you lost it, it means you can create it again. So the same continent, the same God, the same environment who take it away can give you back. It's the matter of believing that pressure is the key. Thank you so much for receiving me. Any pressure you are going through, Kevin, let's take off together and we are going to land in a good land of blessing. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic, Pastor Stephen. I love that message, and I think it's definitely lands even for myself. It's an important analogy to understand it that way. When you feel that pressure, when you're facing the wind, part of those necessary aspects gets you to rise. So I love that. He's the chairman and CEO of Legacy Builders Africa. And guys, it's Pastor Steven Lopepe. Pastor, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing some of your wisdom and your insights. And yeah, I look forward to the connections and what we can do about education and leadership and management in Africa. And yeah, for anyone that wants to connect, we will put more details in the description box below. So there'll be WhatsApp and there'll be also links that you can click on to find out more about what this Legacy Builders Africa Consortium is about and more about Pastor Steven. So if you want to join and connect, we will make it all happen. Pastor Steven, thank you so much for the time. And yeah, thank you for sharing some.
Thank you.